Greetings! Welcome to This, That, and the Other, where I react to, respond to, comment on, question, or otherwise propound on whatever I find of interest on any given day. Now, today's topic Welcome back to Middle Earth. Yogi Berra famously said, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it." Well, we have come to the first of a series of forks. Now, the main fork is 1, Frodo and Sam heading to Mordor, and 2, Merry and Pippin captured by orcs, and followed by Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Now this second branch will fork again and recombine a couple of times before we reach the end. Now, just a quick reminder, we will retain the shortcut symbols for not in the book but not in the movie, and in the spirit of the book, but not literally there. The volume entitled The Two Towers consists of Book 3 and Book 4. Book 3 follows Merry, Pippin, and the rest. Book 4 follows Frodo and Sam. Each of those books is a straight line from start to finish. The movie intertwines the two, cutting back and forth every few minutes. We begin with a very big not-in-book flashback to Gandalf's fall in Moria, extended to continue the fight in the depths beneath the vines. But it's only a dream. Or is it? Now, there's much anguish among reactors over reliving Gandalf's fall, turning to excitement as they view the extension, then disappointment that it was apparently a dream. The scene does not appear in the book. A version of it does, but not until page 105, which is in book 3. But it is how Gandalf described his experience. So I guess it's in the book after all, but the other one. He's just not here and now.
Just a dream.
Now, this happened as well back in episode 2 with Gandalf's visit to Isengard. The film continues following book 4, whereas the book started with book 3, which included Boromir's death, which was in the Fellowship movie. Confused? Well, get used to it. The first book 4 chapter, called The Taming of Smeagol, is totally in the spirit of the book, but not literally there. Although I think I recognized a couple of sentences here and there.
Real Elvish rope. Mordor. The one place in Middle-earth we don't want to see any closer. The one place we're trying to get to. It's just where we can't get. Let's face it, Mr. Frodo.
There's a line from the book, except it was about 4 or 5 pages
Gandalf meant for
previous.
us to come this way. He didn't mean for a lot of things to happen, Sam. We're not alone.
They're thieves. They're filthy little thieves. curse them. We hate them. It's all it is.
That's almost what Gollum said. What the reactors were saying is, oh no, not him again. And then commenting on how he doesn't fight fair.
We want it.
This is Sting. You've seen it before, haven't you, Gollum? Release him, or I'll cut your throat.
Yeah, that's close enough.
No! That would kill us. Kill us!
It's no more than you deserve.
Maybe he does deserve to die. But now that I see him, I do pity him.
And that's a very important line from the book.
I don't believe you! Get down! Sam, down! Sam! He's trying to trick us! If we let him go, he'll throttle us in our sleep!
You know the way to Mordor. You've been there before.
Yes.
You will lead us to the Black Gate.
And nobody out here thinks Frodo should trust him. The beginning sequence of the other fort, the orcs carrying Merry and Pippin off to Isengard, is not in book. Again, at least not here and now. Parts of it are part of a film mashup a bit later. Now, the book starts with the three hunters tracking the orcs. Just the reverse of the movie. Now, a reminder, when I say something happened, I mean it happened in the book. The book is truth. The movie, not so much. Though there are a few of these chase scenes, nothing of any importance happens during them. Most of the action with the orcs is in their encampments. Yes, Merry is given orc medicine.
Hickety, give him some medicine, boys!
Stop it!
And Pippin does drop his brooch. But these events were at different times and places and under different circumstances, as was the constant friction between the Mordor orcs, who I don't think were actually identified as such, and Saruman's Uruk-hai.
The pace is quickened.
Tonto used to be good at this in the old Lone Ranger series.
Hurry!
Appropriate, I guess, since Aragorn is a Lone Ranger in
Come
this
on, Gimli.
situation.
3 days a night's pursuit. No food, no rest. No sign of our quarry, but what bare rock can tell.
Not idly do the leaves of Lorien fall. They may yet be alive. Less than a day ahead of us. Come.
Very dangerous over short distances.
Now, Gimli has a lot of fans out here encouraging him. Kind of the Middle-earth Forrest Gump. Run, Gimli, run!
Legolas, what's your elf-eye see?
The Uruks turn northeast. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. No Saruman. Why does Jackson love this guy so much? He doesn't actually appear for another 150 pages. Now, sadly, this clip has the title in it.
Stand against the might of Sauron and Saruman, and the union of the two towers.
We will fight for you.
Swear it.
I hate to leave this in, but it does explain a lot of what's coming up.
We will die for Saruman.
The horsemen took your land. They drove your people into the hills to scratch a living off rocks. Take back the lands they stole from you.
Eothain! Eothain! You take your sister. You'll go faster with just two.
Papa says Eothain must not fight Geralt. He is too big for her.
Listen to me. You must ride to Edoras and raise the alarm. Do you understand me?
Yes, Mama.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to go.
Freda, I will find you there.
Find the king's son!
My Lord Eomer! Over here!
He's alive.
These entire Rohan scenes are so out of sequence, it's hard to tell if they're even in the right film. Some of what's included here actually happens after our heroes arrive, or it happens off-screen a week or two earlier. And much of it never happened at all. But in both versions,
It was ambushed
Ema
by orcs.
completely creeps everybody out.
If we don't defend our country, Saruman will take it by force.
That is a lie.
Warmongering. How long is it since Saruman bought you? What was the promised price, Grima? Too long have you watched my sister. Too long have you haunted her steps.
You see much, Eomer, son of Eoman. Too much. He signed it this morning.
We finally get back to the beginning of the book, where we should have been an hour ago.
I'm starving. We ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days.
Why can't we have some meat? What about them? They're fresh.
They are not for eating.
Oh, the reactors can calm down. There is no cannibalism. There's only one suspicious statement. Pippin, quote, was not yet so famished as to eat flesh flung to him by an orc. The flesh of he dared not guess what creature, unquote. The attack by the Rohirrim was in the spirit of the book, but much extended. Much extended. It only took a couple of sentences in the book. Although it apparently continued on in the background while the Hobbit's escape was being described. The escape itself was quite similar, but not as action-packed.
business. There's an elf, a man, and a dwarf having the Rittermark. Speak quickly.
Give me your name, Horsemaster, and I shall give you mine.
I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but a little higher from the ground.
You would die before your stroke fell.
When pressed, Aragorn introduces himself in the grandest style possible. Quote, "The bright blade of Andruil shone like a sudden flame as he swept it out. Elendil, he cried, I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and am called Elisar, the Elfstone, Dunedain, the heir of Isildur, Elendil's son of Gondor." Unquote. They discuss events in general, and Sauron, but no mention of Saruman. And there was no banishment. Now, when we get to the right place in the story, in about 80 pages from now, we find that Grima has Eomer imprisoned.
It's one of them wee belts.
Aragorn's scream is incredibly realistic, because it is real. Viggo Mortensen broke 2 toes kicking that helmet. But what the heck, while we're down on the ground, let's look for some clues. In confused order again, the book and the film both have the hobbits entering Fanghorn before the hunters. But along the way, the film having the hobbits, in effect, act out each step of Aragorn's detective work is actually quite clever. But the escape precedes the hunters by quite a few hours. Now, the pan through the trees suggests continuity. It doesn't make sense.
Their bonds were cut. Into Fangorn Forest.
Fangorn. What madness drove him in there?
Madness, Gimli? Madness? How about fear and terror? That forest isn't anywhere near as scary as the orcs. Like many parts of the book, the Rohan scenes, for example, Peter and his ladies almost totally rewrote the Fanghorn sequence. The nasty old orc did not pursue the hobbits into the forest, saving Treebeard the bother of squishing them. The Treebeard was much friendlier in the beginning. Treebeard did not accuse the hobbits of being little orcs, nor did he bring them to the White Wizard for judgment. He was aware of Saruman's turn to the dark side. He patiently explained a lot about the history of the Ents. Of course, everything the Ents did was patiently. Obviously, there wasn't much in the way of physical action, so some changes were warranted, but come on. There is one major change that is seriously contrary to the book. Not just different, but 180 degrees opposite. This is better dealt with when the result of the change is encountered. But that has to wait until next time. Once again, time runs out just as things are getting interesting. So on this semi-cliffhanger, we will pause for another week or so. Thanks for watching, and we'll get together again then.